feels good knowing that I'm a state champion, waking up every day just knowing that I'm a state champion.
It was a feeling that I can't even explain. Everybody was just happy and excited, and we couldn't even hold our emotions in.
Yeah.
It feels great to be a state champion because for 4 years, that's all I've been working for at North Little Rock High School.
It was a special moment knowing that our name wouldn't be forgotten and having a banner in the gym with all the other ones. And all those great teams and being in the conversation with champions.
Did great, you know. This is what we worked for from the beginning. This is what we got into. We've been working with each other since 2013. In the very first year, we say, we win state championships. I think we've done a good job of getting them done. It felt great to me. It felt great.
It's like I've had other reporters, if it's a newspaper or TV or radio or anybody that would talk to me personally, they said, Coach, you seem way more animated on the sideline than any other ones. And then this one was special. And I said before in the post game interview was that some people I said that this was the biggest program win that I think that we've had in North Little Rock basketball. I didn't say it was the biggest win in program history. I think that's a little bit different. And when I'm saying that is our first few years that we won, we had kids that moved in to be a part of what we did. And really on this year, we had a few kids that left and moved out and didn't want to be a part of the program that we had and how we did things. And to win one that way, that's what I meant when we said it was the biggest program win that we've ever had.
It was a lot of hard work and dedication put in, just everyday practice, working hard, just pushing each other to get better in practice.
I think just, it's a long season, basketball is. And so when it hit us, kids get kind of tired. I think the break did us some good because we couldn't do nothing for 2 weeks. And so when we came back, they was a little more hungry from, the long grind of the whole season.
In the past, we'll always get to go out of state. We've been invited to events and tournaments, and we use those as times because we'll go and stay in the hotels together and do all that. And that's kind of our team bonded time, so we can bond as a group. And this year we didn't have that, but the last 3 or 4 years, we're always trying to get us to work things to where we peak at the end, and I think the last couple of years we kind of peaked early, but this year, and I think like Coach said, is that break really did us some good to where we peaked at the perfect time right there at the end.
They miss it a little bit, and then they come back and want to be more around each other and everything.
It was frustrating at one point, not knowing if we were going to play or not, or how we won this game, but it all ended out how we planned and how we wanted it to. So it started with leadership, senior leadership, and coming together as one. And mostly just keep disciplining ourselves and holding each other accountable. That took us a long way.
It's been difficult to do certain things, but they let us play the basketball season. We got to play the whole season, so it worked out in our favor. Social distancing, wearing a mask everywhere, just being more cautious than we have in the past, that kind of changed everything.
It were difficult days, but at the end of the day, we all came together as a team and just knew what the end goal was.
Well, we went from maybe thinking in August that there would be no in-person education at all, and there wouldn't be any sports, any extracurricular activities at all, to where we saw that they had football, and then basketball was still in question. We were getting to practice and do some stuff, but we couldn't. We had to check temperatures every time they come in the gym and try to keep them separated. First, we couldn't even share a basketball. There were so many different, and then things began to get lifted here and there a little bit. We was able to play 5-on-5, and then so still the season was kind of in question. We thought we was gonna be able to play, and we had a breakout there in early December where just about all of us caught it, and so then we come back after about 2.5 weeks, and it was kind of like starting over again. So we were getting in. So once we got going then, and then we didn't have any other breaks, had a couple of kids that had little breaks that they could play, but and then so yeah, it was completely different. We were trying to get to where we played our best basketball towards the end of the year, and obviously the last 2 to 3 weeks we all locked in and accepted our roles and sacrificed some things individually and to come out on top, and man, they sure did it.
Just knowing them staying at home is probably one of the things that I know just from talking to them that they just didn't like. They did like the fact that they're able to get out and about and see their friends and all that stuff. So, just show up, communicate. Communicate is always a big thing with me, regardless of whatever the situation is, whether it's just a simple text, just communicate, because those communication skills will go not just from here on the ball court, well beyond what they're going to do in their lives. So
I would say it's been a struggle, having to wear the mask and just not being able to go to some of the places. We missed out on a couple games because we had the quarantine, but overall we just had to fight through.
All right.
I mean, it was an honor. I worked so hard the whole state tournament, the whole season, just to get the award.
Well, definitely amazing to be able to finish senior year with the championship. He has played with most of these boys since Little League, so this is definitely awesome into senior year. And with both of his parents being former Wildcats, it's definitely just big for the whole family.
It's awesome. And coming from where we come from, it's like you have to work hard at it, no matter what the situation is. And I tell them all the time, being humble is very important. You never put yourself above anybody, and it's not just about you. Everything we do it for the people that's around us, the people who we are linked with. So it's not a selfish, thing. And in this case, I was born and raised in North Little Rock. Didn't stray away, didn't go anywhere. I was here because I wanted to be here, and I want the same thing for my kids. And it was just an amazing feeling. Just especially somebody like me who's typically I would be the choir singer in a instead of a lead singer. So it is different. It's different for me, but it's a good difference.
For you.
So, as a parent, having to make a decision about whether he attends school virtually or on campus was my first challenge. And of course, he wanted to go to school and be on campus. Didn't want to spend his senior year, on the computer. And then, as the school year started, there were players who were on campus who were exposed to people who tested positive. They were all being put on quarantine. So we had to weigh, the difference in what's going to be best for him in terms of being able to play if they started to have basketball games. And so, we talked about, if you go to school, there's always going to be the chance that you're going to be exposed to somebody who has COVID right in the middle of your season, and you won't get to play. And so that happened to a couple of players at the beginning of the season, and he decided to go ahead and stay virtual. So having, that issue was the initial thing, the COVID and all of that. And I was so hoping that they would get to play because, he had injuries the year before, missed part of his junior year. Then, the school was shut down due to COVID. So it was always a concern of ours whether or not he would actually get to play, be healthy, and get the type of exposure he needs so that he can, move to the next level.
It's bittersweet, but I feel like D'Angelo is definitely prepared for the world. Like it's been a lot of talks with this pandemic that we had a lot of time last year to kind of bond and talk about a lot of things about life, you know, things that he would need to know. But I think he'll do great. I know DJ has amazing things ahead. I told him just the other day, like, the journey don't stop. You know, your journey is just beginning. So I know he'll do great.
I plan on going to college and attending Northwestern State in Natchitoches, Louisiana.
I still got one more year, so I'm gonna play through that one more year. Then I'm gonna pick whatever college I want to go to.
Definitely playing college basketball. Whichever level God, takes me, whether it's JUCO, Division I, Division II, whatever it is.
Next step for me is college and continue my academic and athletic career.
You get spring break this right here, and then we'll start meeting individually. Once we get back, we usually take care of that before spring break. So once we come back from spring break, that we can go sometimes that gives us 2, sometimes 3 weeks that we kind of let them off. But this year everything was pushed back so far that spring break's it. So when we get back, we'll be able to meet individually and some of what we thought their strengths and weaknesses are, and what we're going to work on in the off season. And we'll work on all that in April and May, and then June we'll get back and we'll have team camps. So we'll do a lot of our team stuff in June. And then kind of back in July, it's back to individual stuff till we start back at school in August. So it's really a process, and it's you get some time off, but it's not. You can ask our wives. It's not very much. It's not like it used to be when you think people got into teaching and coaching so they could have summers off. That's not the case with us for sure.
Keep working. Stay out the streets.
Just to know that the grass is always greener on the other side, and to keep their head up, and don't ever think that you have time, because you don't. So just stay focused, and don't ever think that, oh, push that back, push that away, I got time. You don't. It's gonna come fast, so be ready for it.
I was just giving the advice to keep going and never stop, despite the challenges, because the work pays off at the end of the day.